Hello again. It's February 7th and I'm back in the shop working on my boat. It's been a couple weeks. Had some other things to do. I was working on boat related stuff. I picked up a boat trailer yesterday. I think I found a good deal. It's very stout, 30-foot trailer. Should be just right for the boat. It's going to need some axle work, but I think when I'm done it'll be as good as new and fully functional, and it's going to be great for the Great Alaskan. Other things I've done is I've installed some joists, I guess, over the top of my shop so I can be ready to lift and turn the Great Alaskan hull over for the next phase. I've been refurbishing some other internal equipment that's going to go on the boat eventually, and now I'm ready to come back in and finish fiberglassing the inside of the hull. So sometimes it feels like I'm a little bit on the red-green show, handyman corner, trying to figure out how to solve certain problems. As I was looking at pulling the 10-ounce cloth down the length of the boat to glass it, I was really realizing that this roll is really heavy. It's got to weigh a good 80 pounds. So I made a hanger. I just took a couple 2x4s and notched the top, put a piece of scrap 1-inch steel on it, and have hung the fiberglass roll on that, and I should be able to pull it down the length of this and prep it and be ready when I get the bottom wetted out. I did come in last night and I completely sanded the inside of the hull with 80 grit on my random orbital sander. So I'm going to go down now and vacuum it off and wipe it down and prep it for the fiberglassing. So I have washed the inside of the hull out with ammonia water solution, and it is true, you pick up a lot of dust. Even though I'd blown it and vacuumed it out, there was still a lot of dust in the wood grain, so that should help open it up. And while it was drying, just as a little aside here, in one of my previous posts, some folks had asked the question of, did I use enough of a fillet in the bottom of the boat, in the chine, inside of the chine in the fair body? And I had some back and forth with the designer and decided that I did. But as long as I was at it, just because you hate the idea of your boat breaking apart, I did come back and added a little bit up here in the front in the deep V, and that was the area where it was probably a little bit shallow. So just to make sure, I added quite a bit more of the peanut butter mix, epoxy and wood flour and silica. Filled that in and then did another schedule of fiberglass over the top. So the radius is very smooth. There's no air bubbles. It's holding good, and that'll take care of any question I have up there. Which brings me to another point of how valuable it is having the designer of this boat available online. I was able to send some pictures and describe what I was doing and what I'd done and what the concerns were. And we had a great little conversation, and come to understand that it's not the fillet that gives strength to the boat. It's the round corner that prevents I forget the technical term, the loading on a sharp edge of the fiberglass. So by giving that a smooth contour, you're getting the greatest strength out of the fiberglass as the boat kind of oil cans and flexes going through the waves. So that was really useful to know. The boat's looking good. Everything's fiberglassed well. I had a little bit of a fly hatch today, so got some flies that are going to be a permanent part of my boat. But this went pretty well. I think it's looking good. I'll let it dry, and then I will hoist it up and roll it over. So that's going to be probably all for this week. Good news is, after this cures, I can get it rolled over and move on to the next stage, and that's where things really start to get interesting. So looking forward to that part. Have a good week.